Hello and welcome back to the Car Crowd channel, where today we take a look at the car that started it all for us, the iconic Peugeot 1.6 GTI. The little 205 GTI has to go down as one of the most recognised and one of the best ever hot hatches. Producing 105 brake horsepower and weighing just under 900 kilograms, this little car certainly packed a punch. But then the Germans came out with the Mark 1 GTI, which was actually a bit quicker to 60 than this one covering at 8.7 seconds and the Mark 1 taking a shave off of that. So Peugeot, wanting to beat the Germans, came back with the 1.9 Peugeot 205 GTI. That was capable of 0 to 60 in 7.8 seconds with 130 brake horsepower, so slightly quicker than the 1.6 variation we've got here. Now, interestingly, and a lot of the purists will argue, 1.6 versus 1.9. The 1.6 was the original engine built for this chassis and built for this car, so all of the handling, suspension, etc. was all set up for the 1.6 engine. Now, the extra 25 brake horse in the 1.9 obviously means you get a bit quicker down a straight road, but the dynamics of the car do change slightly, so there's this big debate whether actually you want a 1.6 or a 1.9 Peugeot. All we know is this little example is in cracking condition and was a fantastic addition to the platform a few months ago. So this has to be one of the most original 205 GTIs left on the road, probably in the world. And it's probably testament to the fact that it's had one lady owner from new. This car was bought new from Coleraine Cars in Northern Ireland, taken over to Norfolk by that one lady owner, where she drove it for over 30 years before selling it back into the dealership in Northern Ireland. Coleraine Cars bought the car back because I think the father who originally had the dealership's son, it was his favourite car. He remembers his dad selling it, and when it came back up for sale, he bought it and put it back into their Peugeot Talbot dealership, where it stood for a few years before moving back into the UK and being bought by the Car Crowd. So it really has that time warp piece with that lovely history, even got handwritten notes about when the oil's been changed, when the spark plugs have been changed, along with a comprehensive service record as well. So it was a real no-brainer when we spotted it. We just had to have it with less than 25,000 miles and that such due diligence and care in the ownership of the car. It just makes it one of the standout examples left in the world. These little 80s hot hatches are really starting to command a premium. In fact, we funded this car for £18,900 2 years ago on the Car Crowd platform. It's recently just been valued using a director's estimate at just over £22,000. So that's a 20% appreciation in just 2 years for the shareholders. And that's not just the only examples. There's other examples, really low mileage ones, that are going for nearly 60 to 70,000 euros. So they are commanding a massive premium. So what's that all about? What's driving that premium? Well, we think here that it's the driving experience. You know, just a few minutes behind the wheel in this little hot hatch and you really get it to open up on the B roads and you can find out what it's all about. Razor sharp handling, smooth gear changes. It's just an experience that you can't replicate with these later, more modern hatchbacks. The more modern cars now come with DSG or flappy paddle gearboxes. A lot of them have got way more power but also a lot more weight, and that just changes the dynamic of how the car handles and how it drives. So people want to get back to that nostalgic way of driving, that real clean, simple gear change, high revving engines, and that's really what's driving the valuations now of these 80s iconic hot hatches. But the little 205 GTI wasn't just king of the B roads, it was actually king of quite a few rally stages as well. Well, not exactly this version. There was a version called the T16. What they did is move the engine from the front into the back, slap a massive turbocharger on it, and that was capable of 400 brake horsepower, winning loads of rally stages, spitting flames through the forest as it went. It was the design genius of Jean Todt, hence the T in the T16, and it became a poster car of boys and girls all over the world, and that's why it still holds such a dear place in loads of people's hearts. The 205 GTI holds a special place in so many petrol heads' hearts, and it really holds a special place in our hearts, being the first car we funded through the TheCarCrowd platform. So we are so thrilled that it's doing really well for the investors and the shareholders. If you think there's a different car though that should wear the crown of king of the hot hatches, then let us know in the comments below. Please also like and share this video if you've enjoyed what you've seen today, and subscribe to our channel to see loads more content about the cars we've funded and the cars that are coming up with the TheCarCrowd. And we'll see you for another walk around video soon.